Alright, well, welcome to another beautiful spring day here in the woods of Pennsylvania. So I am back in one of my favorite places here. This is Stony Valley up here in northern Lebanon County. And I'm right along what's called the Evening Branch, this stream here. And we're going to hike around the Beaver Pond today. If you're familiar with this area of Stony Valley, a lot of you are. You know, there's a beaver pond just up from the trailhead for the Stony Valley Rail Trail. So we're gonna hike around there today. Maybe we'll see some beavers. I don't know. They're usually nocturnal, so we may not see any, but hopefully we see some wildlife out here today. Maybe 3 years ago, I hiked around the whole beaver pond. It's kind of a nice little hike. So it's a beautiful day. It could be in the 70s. Beautiful blue skies. Great day to do this. So let's get going. I've just got to find a way across the stream first. This might do, you know, some rocks across. We'll see. As long as that rock isn't wobbly. Well, I made it across quite nicely. Every now and then, you know, I film, you know, stream crossing, but this one I decided not to, because if you film a stream crossing, then you have to go back across the stones and get your camera and bring it back again. So I decided to pass on that this time. All right, like I said, it's absolutely beautiful out here today. And right here is Gold Mine Run. And last summer we hiked all the way up Gold Mine Run to the abandoned coal mining village up there of Gold Mine. That's a fun little hike. Of course, Gold Mine Run flows into the larger stream here. And the beaver pond is just up in that clearing up there, but we need to make our way kind of more up this way. It gets kind of marshy here. Now walking through the marsh. So you can start to see some evidence of the beavers. I think there's one of their dams is right in there. Might take a closer look in a moment, but there are a whole series of dams in here. And up further there is a much larger one with more visible water. This is one of these hikes where I'm just going to take my time. Hopefully try and see as much wildlife as possible. I'll also probably share some mail with you at some point as well. Yeah, I tried to get a little bit closer, but you can just barely make it out in there. There is a dam right in there. But I can't get any closer without getting wet. So we're gonna keep on going. Yeah, and even out here we have these beautiful blue or violets. Nice little splash of color out here. Yeah, I'm getting myself stuck in a bit of a soggy situation here. We'll try and find a way around all this. I guess we'll go this way. Might be a bad idea. Alright. Just kind of in the marsh area now. I should have hiked just a little bit further up in the woods there, but oh well. Alright, we are back on firm ground. And we'll continue on. And there's a place up here where I want to sit. We can look out across the beaver pond a little bit better. And just listen to those birds. It's beautiful out here. Yeah, and here we can get right up close to the one part of the pond. We're still in the what I call the lower pond. There's some beaver chew right there, or chewies. Smaller tree that they cut down. You can see it there.
They often build, see the pond's out there, but they often build these like little entrance ways, I guess you could think of it, to get closer to some of these smaller trees. Because they like to be in the water as much as possible. I did see one duck fly off. The waterfowl love these places because there's water, but they're also protected by all the shrubs and stuff. It's a great place to raise their young. And the water is just filled with those salamanders. Let me see if we can... Do you see them yet? They're very difficult to see in here. I think I'm zooming in. Yeah, there he is. Do you see him right there in the middle of your screen? This is one of those red spotted salamanders. Kind of see his spots. Whoops. Oh, right there's another one above him. Kind of see the tail right there. That's his tail. Where was that other one at? There it is. Just floating there. You can see it move a little bit. Cool. Of course, some time ago I showed you that video. I used my underwater camera and I showed you all those salamanders. These are the same species, those red spotted salamanders. Where they live in, as adults they live in the water, but as juveniles they're those orange newts that you see walking on land. It's just filled with them in here, but they're kind of camouflaged in there. Alright. And we've made our way to what I think is the middle dam. You see it right here. Much more a lot more water up in here, and I can see one of their lodges up there. I'm pretty sure this is the middle dam. I think there's another dam up further. I could be wrong. Haven't been back here in a while. Let's zoom in on that lodge out there. Should be right there in the middle of the screen. Behind some of those trees, you see that pile of branches and mud and dirt and stuff? That's their lodge. It's hollow on the inside, and the entrance into it is underwater. The only way in and out. Yeah, so right here's our beaver pond, and here's another one of those channels they built up to here, right up to this big tree right here. This tree is big that they cut down. I'll sit on it in a moment for you to get perspective of it, but yeah. And they cut these trees down because you can see where they chewed all the bark off. That's what they eat. They eat the inner bark. You can see where it's all been chewed off all the way up through. So it took some beaver quite a while to chew that down. And then, of course, he probably sat right on the edge and just chewed away there. Wow. That might be the biggest beaver chew I've seen. Yeah. That is some beaver chew right there. Yeah, and here's another water channel they built. Because they cut this tree down too. You can see where they were chewing at it. They could probably stand on their hind legs here and chew the bark off the side. But I'm going to use it as a nice place to sit, take a break. Just sit by the pond here and see what shows up. Well, I've been sitting here for some time, just watching and listening to the sounds of nature. Kind of hoping to see a beaver, but no such luck right now. Like I said, it's midday, so they're probably not going to come out. All kind of creatures out here. There was a pileated woodpecker, which you might be able to hear its call right there. There was a red-shouldered hawk out here. I could hear him. Didn't see him. I was hoping he'd land on one of these trees out here. But there's quite a bit more to this pond yet. Like I said, this is just the middle section. So I think we're going to head up further like I said in a previous video, I'm just trying to, this summer I'm just trying to take a little more time just to sit and watch and wait, see if any wildlife comes to me. Because the longer I've sat here, the more, I guess you could say, noisier it's gotten with creatures. Once you sit down, just let everything calm back down again. Oh, there's a much more recent beaver chew up here. Oh, that's a red-shouldered hawk. That call you just heard there earlier. Yeah, right there's that newer chew. Just up there's another huge tree that they cut down. And you can see, let me zoom in, you can see where they chewed the bark off the sides. It's like right there they chewed all the bark off the side. Left some spots open and then some more chew spots. I do see a mushroom growing out of this tree. There's a hemlock stump here. And there's one main mushroom that grows out of dead hemlocks. And that's the hemlock varnish cap mushroom. It doesn't look very varnishy at the moment, but as it gets older, it almost looks like someone takes like paint varnish and covers it. It has that look to it. Right now it's just kind of soft and puffy. Gets more hard like wood. And they are edible. This white part is actually edible. I wouldn't necessarily say it tastes good, but it is edible. Looks like there's another one growing up out of here. Actually, I think that's the first edible wild mushroom I ever ate. Because they're terribly easy to identify. Because they only grow on, well, I shouldn't say only, they mostly grow on hemlock trees. And they have a very distinctive look. You can also make a tea out of those mushrooms. Even when they're older, like they get like real hard like wood. But you can cut them up and dry them. And then I put them in like a coffee grinder and made like a powder out of it. It's supposed to be really healthy for you. There are mushrooms in China that are similar to this, so they call the mushroom of immortality. So it's supposed to be, or at least in the same family. Was it called the reishi family of mushrooms, I think? Anyway, I can't say that the tea tasted really good though. But that's the way it is with a lot of healthy things. Alright, let's keep going. And we've come up yet upon another dam here. Kind of going out there. So it's just like a whole series of dams along here. Alright. And check this out. There's some mushrooms growing right inside this little hole. It's like a woodpecker hole. Some mushrooms growing out of it. Oh, those look like what are those called? Those look like dryad saddle or pheasant back. Just growing all this snag. It's kind of neat. It's like their little home, living in there. And out there is another beaver lodge, or a beaver home. They got some trees growing on their house. There are some geese out there as well. You can zoom in on them. See the trees there. Yeah, right there they are. Canadian geese. Looks like they're feeding. But it's quite the beautiful scene out here with the beaver pond and the mountain back there in the distance. Well, there are a couple more geese out there. Just relaxing. So I think I'm going to leave the edge of the pond here for a bit. It's getting a little bit difficult to walk through all this. And we're going to head up in the woods a little bit. I'm going to look for a place to have lunch and share some mail with you as well. Get in the shade, get a little bit sunny out here as well. We get in the shade, getting a nicer little place to sit and eat lunch. Alright, just to see now if we can find a nice log or rock to sit on for lunch. Well, I ended up wandering back down to the beaver pond, and that looks like a nice log right there. So that is lunch spot right there. So like I said, I'm going to share some mail with you here. Here's my nice little lunch spot. I will say though, if you do try to come here and want to hike along this beaver pond, it is a lot easier to hike along the other side of the beaver pond where the rail trail is. It's a lot clearer and more open. But there's a lot more people over there. It's a really beautiful day, and there's a lot of people out there. I don't know if you can probably hear them in my video at one or two points. I try to cut that out. I try not to film when they're out over there yapping on the other side. But this side is a lot more wild and overgrown, but you have it to yourself as well. All right, well, let me start sharing some of this mail. The first letter is from Ken, and he's commenting on the one video I made where I was in Jonestown. I went to see if that one thing along the canal was a lock or an aqueduct, and I determined it was an aqueduct. And I think in a later video, then I hiked up that rail trail a little bit more, and I encountered that private property sign. I think his name was Robert Walborn. Yeah, and I was going to comment in that video that the railroad right of way actually doesn't belong to him in that video. But I think I cut that out of the video. But Ken mentions here though that agrees with me though that I think some of you asked too that the rail bed is not private property. It's actually public property. But some of the landowners think it's theirs, and yeah. But yeah, you're right, Ken. Things you say in there. It's a shame, you know. Anyway. Oh, and he sent some pictures too. Well, not pictures, but copies of pictures. And some information about that time error along the canal. So thanks, Ken. All right, the next letter is from Glenn. I think Glenn sends me something every month. Thanks. He always sends a financial gift, so thank you for that. I got a card from him this time, though. He says, "Love your future home." He's referring to that cabin that I went to, that I would have liked to be my home, but it's not. Let's see, what else we got here? Oh, this is from James. Got a letter from James. Yeah, he says about 2 years ago we met on the Appalachian Trail in the Eckville area. And I think I remember who you are. I meet a lot of people on the trail. Not just the AT, but all kinds of trails, but I think I remember who you are. Yeah, so thanks for the kind words there. I'm trying to picture that. I think I was walking down the hill and then they were coming back up, and anyway, thanks, James. Let's see. I think. Oh, here we go. This was from Cheryl, I believe. Nice little. It looks like a black swan. Well, I think you hear the voices over there now. Some little girl yelling, "Grandpa." All right. Thanks for the financial gifts, Cheryl. And she wrote me quite a bit here in the in her card. Oh, but she's the one that mentioned in one video I asked about, you know, repurposing, you know, all those glass jars I find out in the woods sometimes at dump locations, and she mentioned that she used them to make Christmas decorations, like a Christmas tree. How she put lights and tinsel in them. So that was kind of interesting. I'm still considering, you know, there's a way to make use of those old jars. It's kind of interesting. And another little letter here. Oh, it's from John. Oh, from Florida. These are the ones from Florida. Oh, thanks for the financial gift too, John. He's the one that sent me the pictures from down in Florida. Some cool pictures. Oh, that reminds me of... I've never been to Florida. Closest I've been to is Georgia, the Okefenokee Swamp. Oh man. It's a cool place. I think this one... Oh yeah, there's the tree. Oops, is that upside down? Upside down tree. Alright. I sure hope to make it to Florida someday. Like I said, I was 5 in college. We took a trip down to the Okefenokee Swamp, which is right in southern Georgia. I was 5 miles from Florida. But the other guys with me had already been to Florida, so they weren't interested in going down. But anyway, gotta get back down. Gotta get back down there again. Down there again. The Okefenokee was awesome. We were canoeing with alligators. You could just reach out and almost touch them. It was awesome. Some cool places down there. And with the way my channel's going, and thanks to you guys and the growth I'm having, you know, maybe this winter, you know, be able to make it down that way. I'm hoping to be able to travel more this year. That kind of got temporarily on hold, you know, as far as going to other states with current issues, but hopefully this all resolves itself soon and we can get out traveling a little bit further again. I know last summer I filmed in quite a few different states, got to some new states last year, Connecticut and Massachusetts. So I'm hoping to continue that this year. I'd love to get down to Florida. Anyway, thanks guys for the mail. Once again, my mailing address is down below. It is in the description right below the video. So I do appreciate all of it. Thank you. All right, well, let's get back to it. I was about ready to say let's get back on trail, but there is no trail back here. Weather's changing a bit. Clouds are rolling in. Nice little breeze blowing. I've been out here for 2.5 hours already. Just a lot of walking, a lot of sitting too. I probably won't film the other side of the pond so much. Probably continue to film until I get to the end here and around. I think if I remember correctly, there's some deeper water up here. But anyway, let's get going. Yeah, now it's turning more just into a swampy, marshy area again. Like I said, I think there's a deeper spot up here. The foot of the mountain comes right down to the pond up here, if I remember correctly, and there was a spot up here that was a lot of ducks, if I remember from like 3 years ago. So I'm gonna try and make my way quietly up there. Hope we can see some ducks. I've seen a couple of ducks fly off, but didn't get them on video. I think they're the wood ducks, which are beautiful ducks. Probably the most beautiful duck here in Pennsylvania. We'll see what happens though. Well, no ducks out there. Well, actually there probably are quite a few ducks. Probably a lot of the moms with the young are down there. They love, like I said, they love these marsh areas where they can hide in the thickets and stuff with their little ones. Alright, but we're going to keep going. Up here is this little hill I mentioned where the foot of the mountain comes down. So we got to go up just a little bit. so down at the base of this hill is the spot I think I remember. There's some deeper water down there. So I'm gonna try and walk quietly. Although it's kind of difficult with all this. It hasn't rained for a little while, so the leaves I'm walking on are really dry. It's hard to be quiet. Alright, no ducks yet. Like a little bit of a game trail here that I'm following. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's no ducks down there. They would have flew off by now. Alright. Lots of pretty birds singing though. Well, I just moseyed on down that hill, and there is something interesting right here, right by the water's edge. Fur, lots of fur sitting here. Or hair. Looks like deer. So, I don't see any bones though. Just kind of curious. We will have a look around though. Almost looks like a little depression in the ground there. Alright, so we are coming to the end of the Beaver Marsh now. And we'll soon have to cross that stream again. Yeah, I'm guessing a baby deer, a fawn may have been killed back there. And something fed on it at that spot. And a lot of times, a lot of animals, after they feed on it for a carcass for a little bit, they'll then drag it away and like half bury it with leaves and sticks, save it for later, what's left. I didn't see any bones there. So whoever was eating it didn't necessarily finish eating it there. Just gonna take a guess. Yeah, so up here is the stream that flows into the beaver pond. And they've even dammed, there's a dam right there. They've dammed this up. So I'm not gonna be able to cross here. A bit too deep. So our mission now is to find a place to cross this creek without getting too wet. You know, it looks a little bit muddy in there. I wonder if there was a beaver here just recently. Oh, that would have been cool. I don't know if you can see that in there. Looks a little muddy. Could be muskrat too, maybe. Yeah, and check this out. I think we found our way across. Nice big tree. Yep, that'll work. Yep, piece of cake. Nice big tree across. This would be a cool place to set up a trail cam. I've been thinking about getting one of those. And I've seen other people have videos where you do that. I know my uncle has one of those. He used one up at the cabin that we go up to each summer. You just set a trail cam up. One that takes pictures, or it takes video too. Then you can see like who all crosses these logs. Not people-wise, but like animal-wise. Well, you know, what all kind of animals use this, you know, bobcats and bears and stuff. Because a lot of times these logs across the stream are like little highways. All right. Well, just a little bit ways up to the rail trail. So we might as well get on up there. Yeah, right up here is the rail trail. All right. Like I said, I'll just walk this back to the Jeep. Been doing this for over 3 hours now, off trail and stuff. So I have already ended this video. I actually filmed the outro quite a while ago. I actually did come down to the edge of the pond on this side for a little bit just to hang out, and some of those red-shouldered hawks were making a fuss up there, and I should have taken my camera out, but I didn't. But a bald eagle flew off from the trees up here, so they were kind of fussing at him to chase him off. They probably have a nest around here and probably don't want him here. But that's the second time I've seen a bald eagle here at the Beaver Pond in Stony Valley. I think several years ago I saw one here. So that's cool. So if you come to this Beaver Pond here in Stony Valley, you might see a bald eagle as well. Sorry I didn't get on film, but that's usually the way it goes. Anyway, back to the actual ending of this video. Alright, so that'll be it for this video. Like I said, I was out here for about 3.5 hours. Actually, by the time I get to the Jeep, it will be a little bit more than that. I was hoping to see more. I was really hoping to see a beaver out there and some cool ducks, but you know, it is what it is. You never know what you're gonna find on these adventures. Sometimes when you're looking for something in particular, you don't find it, and then sometimes when you're not looking for anything, boom! Like just a couple of videos ago, that woodcock flew up right in front of me while I was filming. That was pretty awesome. Like I think I said, that was my first close encounter with a woodcock like that. I wasn't expecting it that day. Alright, that's the way it is. You just gotta get out here and explore. Alright, thanks for coming along, and I'll see you around.